This is the Bitcoin 1 month overview reading for the month of March 2025. It's currently February 20th, 2025, 8:23 p.m. Eastern Time. Bitcoin at the time of this reading, $98,183.17. That's USD. And the March Bitcoin reading was created on January 24th, 2025 at 5:40 p.m. Eastern Time. What we're going to go over in this video is the overall trend direction and chart behavior for the month of March. We'll give you some chart behavior to look out for, signaling the month's highest high, and some chart behavior to look out for that's involved in the month's lowest low. We're then going to go and review January and February's predictions to give you a good idea of our accuracy before we come back and do a day-by-day sequence of chart events. It's important to understand that the sequence of chart events is we're predicting the sequence. We're not, the timing is usually on point, but not always. There are some cases where you need to give it plus or minus a day or two of wiggle room. With crypto, could even be like 3 or 4 sometimes, especially with those altcoins. But that's rare. And really, what's most important is to pay attention to the sequence of chart events as outlined by the prediction. So we'll go through that day-by-day chart behavior, and then we're going to give you one of the best trades that we see for the month of March. After that, I'll show you guys how to get the Discord trade alerts and live updated trading view charts and all that stuff, which are game-changing services. If you actually plan on trading this information, the Discord's pretty much essential at this point. I would not advise trading this information without access to the Discord, because these are expectations. This is like for entertainment purposes to show you that extrasensory perception exists and can be used practical. But if you actually want to trade this info, sign up for the monthly subscription. I'll show you how to do that at the end of the video. Now, before we get into everything, I just want to make sure you're aware the whole purpose of the channel is to transmute some of the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. We do that by following through on the rule of karma for the channel. You go to our resources tab, 5% of all profits donated forward to one of these charities, effectively transmuting that competitive energy into goodwill. Imagine if everybody who made money in the stock market donated a portion to something that was good for the world. How much better the world would be. So let's make that happen, people. And with your help, we do that. And then 5% of the profit should be donated back to the channel through one of these links. If you're international, use Wise or use the crypto. It's got a bunch of different QR codes. Much love and appreciation to everybody that does that. You guys really help support the channel. And it leaves you at 90%. Make sure to spend that 90% out of love. As long as you follow those rules, you're an angel investor of the channel. The universe is going to send it back to you tenfold for following through. All right, let's get into it. The overall theme and behavior for March, there is a notable decline taking place here. This reading was particularly difficult because there's on the 1 year, the congruency between the March and the March cluster on the 1 year, there's like a week of like wiggle room or something there. So it accounts for kind of like a conflicting idea. So there's two variations really of direction, but I think for the most part, we're probably going to decline and then return to a resistance level. So that's what the Ace of Swords is. We'll decline from a resistance pretty notably and then return to that resistance again, possibly higher. Behavior on the highest high, a notable move taking us into the high, should be like a breakout into the high. And then behavior on the lowest low, we have a U-shaped dip, another indication that we've got two highs with a low in between. The dip between the two highs would form the low for us. Now let's take a look at January, see how we did. I think this was a pretty solid reading. So we had a lowest low right here, a possibility right here on the 1st. It looks like that really did come to fruition. There was a possible high side thus far on the 6th. Looks like we nailed that. And then we've got another lowest low on the 12th. Wow, off by a day there, but wow, look at that, guys. Followed by a highest high on the 22nd. Nailed that. And then we had another possibility of a lowest low on the 25th. It didn't actually come into that, or between the 25th and the 27th, didn't actually come into a lowest low, but it was a pretty significant drop right there. So overall, this was really solid, guys. If you're wondering, the January reading was created December 13th, 2000. The heck? That's not right. I don't know. This is strange. So it was December 13th, 2024 when it was created. Um, all right, so let's get into it, my friends. Oh, and this is also a good example for you of what the live TradingView chart links give you access to. So when you're on Discord, each channel has a link to a TradingView chart. Like the Bitcoin channel has a link to the Bitcoin chart, and you can see we have these. This was an exit. This was an entry. We just kind of grazed it. Another exit here. I mean, we're not right all the time. You can see that we were off a little bit. We didn't quite come into the low there. We did come into it here. We just barely touched it there. So, but as far as January is concerned, this was a really solid. And this is the type of stuff that you can get in the Discord. I'll show you guys again how to do that at the end of the video after we give you one of the best trades. All right, so now let's get into it. Sequence of chart events. So we have a rally into key resistance on the first, followed by when we meet that resistance, we abruptly turn around and decline back down to past the point at which the rally started. There's three pokes through the same resistance or trend line on the second, followed by a sharp drop off of that third poke. Three crisscrosses back and forth through the same price level on the third. A notable decline from a peak on the fourth through multiple support levels. It's important to also keep in mind, if you're new to the channel, guys, when I talk about support and resistance and big moves higher and lower, I'm talking about that on the scale of a multi-day chart with one-day candlesticks unless otherwise specified. So a peak on the fourth that we declined through multiple support levels, sideways rotation on the fifth, a lot of volatility taking place on the sixth, a lot of volatility on the sixth. There should be a resistance there highlighted, and we decline from it, and then an unexpected move back up into it, either there on the 6th or on the 7th. On the 7th, we have a big move to the upside out of a prominent trough. On the 6th, somewhere, there's a prominent peak on the 7th. Big move to reach for it, reaching for distant resistance. On the 8th, we have a period of volatility and a sharp drop that stands out in that period of volatility, taking us into a trough at the beginning of the day on the 9th, and then a huge move to the upside off of key support on a multi-day scale, key support into a peak, another prominent peak at the end of the day on the 9th, and it's a brief peak that's easily missed, followed by a decline through multiple support levels on the 10th, back into a significant trough. Looks like we then return, we probably rallied back into resistance out of the trough midday on the 10th, probably rallied back to some form of resistance towards the end of the day on the 10th, and then we have a decline increasing with momentum moving forward in time through the 11th into the morning of the 12th, sharp decline into that trough in the morning of the 12th where we attempt to establish support. You also may be tempted to chase the decline there. I would advise against it. On the 13th, a pop and then an equidistant drop. On the 14th, a period of sideways rotation that ends with a fast sudden move higher, taking us into another prominent peak, and then a significant opportunity amongst other opportunities on a multi-day scale. A significant opportunity on the 15th. The full card is one of those cards that's like ambiguous. It could go either direction, but usually it's like a gap of some kind or some huge like quick spike that doesn't last long. Most likely we see a decline there. Matter of fact, probably a decline and a big move to the upside. And then on the 16th, we have some flat behavior followed by a rally into important trough or important peak early in the day on the 17th. And that rally turns over and gives us a prominent trough at the end of the day on the 17th. There's an important support level highlighted on the 18th. It's important on a multi-day scale, probably on a one-year chart scale. A breakout around the cusp of the 18th, 19th, taking us to key resistance, key technical price level on a multi-day scale that we decline from. Either that or we decline into a key technical price level on a multi-day scale, on a one-year chart scale there. Probably breakout out of it and then back to a trough on the cusp of the 19th, 20th. There's a notable peak that we sell off from on the 20th. On the 21st, a rally into key resistance, followed by a decline through key support. So we rally into a failed attempt to break through key resistance, followed by decline through key support. And it looks like we rally back into a peak on the 22nd. It's overbought peak that we then sell off into a trough around the cusp of the 22nd, 23rd, sell off through multiple supports. And there's some sort of fake out there around the 22nd, 23rd, probably on the 23rd, a fake out with a peak towards the beginning of the day. So we go from this trough on the cusp of 22nd, 23rd into a prominent peak on the 23rd with a fake out. And then we drop back a little bit on the cusp of the 23rd, 24th, followed by another prominent move higher, followed by a full retracement on the 24th. And then we rally into key resistance on the 25th. Once we meet that resistance, we decline with consecutively lower spikes up on the way down. There should be a prominent peak there on the 25th. prominent consecutively lower spikes up on the way down into a trough at the end of the day on the 25th. Another peak on the 26th where we do some sideways rotation and a sharp drop in that period of sideways rotation. The 27th, the decline ends with a fast sudden move higher, taking us into a prominent peak towards the end of the day. Multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance on the 28th, probably ending up bearish with a trough towards the end of the day on the 28th. And then out of a trough early in the day on the 29th, a big move to the upside in a period of volatility, likely ending that volatility. Erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level on the 30th. In the midst of that, we usually revisit a crest. It's an opportunity. If we don't revisit a crest, then it's usually a trough, but usually it's a crest. And then we have notable price swings on the 31st. Decline in April, offering significant trade opportunity to open up long positions. I'll talk about that in more detail when we get into the monthly access version of this video, where we get into all of the best trades and the timing of the highest high and lowest low for the month. We'll also take a look at the 1 year again. All right, so let me give you one of the best trades that I see. All right, so we should see on the 6th, we should see a significant move to the downside into a lowest low thus far on the 6th midday. It'll be at a key technical price level, important price level, and we likely cross through it momentarily. I would open up a long position there, and then shortly thereafter, around the cusp of the 6-7, we should have a huge move to the upside, taking us into a prominent peak, possibly a highest high thus far. And I would cash out of the long position there on the 7th towards the end of the day. So pretty significant opportunity to make a quick long trade there over like a 2-day swing trade. And there's a bunch more, as well as the timing of the highest highs and lowest lows, all in the monthly access version, as well as that's where you get the Discord trade alert. So like I said, the sequence of chart events as outlined by the prediction is most important. The timing is secondary. People that have the Bitcoin Discord channel through monthly access subscription, they have the most up-to-date real-time information, because these are expectations that we're going over of trades and whatnot. It isn't until we get there that we know for sure if it's going to be a good trade or not. Usually they are, but sometimes they're not. Sometimes we have to guide people plus or minus a day here or there of wiggle room. And so you get that through Discord, as well as these chart drawings. Let me show you how to get that subscription, that monthly access subscription. You go to our website, Terra for Traders, hover over Order Now, click on Subscriptions. It's the middle subscription, gets you all of the stuff that we have in early access, the day trades for SPY, the swing trades for SPY, the SPY Discord channel and chart. But it also gets you all of these tickers we cover on a monthly basis by day chart behavior, with predicting highs and lows for the month, as well as the best trades that we see. Each of these has its own Discord channel, and each of those Discord channels has its own TradingView chart link that's regularly updated for security purposes. But it's there for everybody that's part of monthly access. And that's where we do the drawings. Usually we're right, not all the time, but usually. This is $300 a month, significantly undervalued, or underpriced, I should say. So much love and appreciation to everybody that does that. It's those people that do that really are responsible for allowing this channel to continue putting out the content and allowing this to be my full-time eat, breathe, sleep, trade, eat, breathe, sleep, predict. I mean, that's my life, and I love it. But it's you guys that allow that to happen. So much love and appreciation. Don't forget about that rule of karma. Super important for the whole purpose of the channel. Blessings to all my angel investors. I'll see you guys on the next one.